But not the house.
But they see
You
light.
mean just in the area?
Yes,
So
on a
in other
nearby
words,
dune, there are still these little flashing lights as though people are having a party, and they hear laughter
I've got
singing.
That. All right. Oh, well, that's pretty weird. That's another... So, in other words, you could request that a spirit or a ghost that's occupying the place of its death leave the place of its death and have that happen, but have them stay close by. So what do we have here? Polite ghosts? Or spirits that have to follow the words of the living? Not sure, but interesting. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Hello there.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, my name is Michael.
Michael, you're going to have to speak up good and loud, Michael.
I better go on another phone here.
Yeah, we don't have a great connection, so...
Okay. Is that better?
Oh, that's much better. Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had an experience about 14 years ago, and I sent you an email about it. I really don't want to say where exactly it took place because I remembered a few things about the situation afterwards that make it still kind of scary. What happened was there was a period, I'm very nervous right now.
Oh, well, just take a deep breath.
Okay, I've been taking lots of them.
Don't worry about it. You're just talking to me.
Well, you'll find out once I tell you the story.
Sure.
For about 7 or 8 months, maybe 9 months, I had these dreams, kind of like dreams, sometimes waking dreams.
Yes.
And I found myself thinking about places, kind of like in tropical areas. And sometimes during the dreams, I would ask whoever was giving me these dreams where it was. And the voice told me in my dream, it's near Papua New Guinea.
Uh-huh.
I can't tell you where. So what happens is about 8 months later, some big changes happen in my life. And I decide, well, it's time to take that trip. So I'm heading out of the West Coast. And this is the part I forgot to tell you about in the email. I'm waiting for my flight. And all of a sudden, where I'm sitting, these two characters become apparent to me. And, you know, you've heard of Men in Black?
Yes.
Well, this was a man and a woman in black.
Okay.
Now, the man was like anything you'd see in a boardroom somewhere. He was older, and he was standing talking to the woman. Now, what happened was the man turned, talked to the woman. She had hair cut straight across the front of her forehead, down the sides, and around the back of her head. She was dressed all in black, and as she walked down the street, people would stop and notice, because she was very strange. And she had a book open, and she was writing, I believe, in right to left in the book.
Really?
Yeah.
Right to left. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, something very old, you know. Not many people do that, except in certain parts of the world.
That's right.
And then the man looked at the woman. He came over to me, and he stood right beside me. And he stood right beside me, within arm's reach, and stared at me, stared straight down. I didn't want to look at him because, you know, I didn't want a confrontation. I just thought, you know, strange people, right?
Yes.
So he goes back, and he's talking to the woman. And she looks up in the air, and she talks to him, and then he turns and he looks at me like he wishes I was somewhere else or something. He's not liking me at all. And
okay, we don't have a lot of time here.
Okay.
So.
Well, what happens is I wind up getting on the plane, and I head off into the Pacific. I get off of this plane, and the spirit that had been talking to me through my dreams, it kind of leads me up into this valley. I'm walking through this valley, and I'm going through where all of the orchards are.
So you went, in other words, you went to the place of your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I thought it was my dream. And I was thinking I would come to this place. I'm walking through the orchard. It's a full moon, and all of a sudden I hear footsteps behind me. And I turn around just briefly to look, and there's nothing there. So I thought maybe it was a piece of fruit falling or something. So I walk into this open area, and I hear more footsteps. And then I look around to make sure, and there's nothing behind me. So I head up to the end of this valley, and I'm thinking, well, this dream, I'm going to come to it, and maybe these people that I'm seeing in this dream are going to be there, and I'll be safe.
Uh-huh.
I get up to the top of the valley, and I realize something's wrong. And I go to turn around, and all of a sudden, this black net comes over top of me.
A black net.
Yeah. And this thing can read my mind. I don't know what it is, and it starts to squeeze. And it's accusing me of all of the maybe negative things that have happened in my life. It seems to know this. And I know that I got to get out of this place. There's something wrong. And the only thing I can think, I can't breathe, I can't see. Like, it was a full moon when I walked in. And then it's like I have this thick black net over top of me, and I can't see the stars or anything. I can barely see the moon.
Okay, only a minute left.
I'm heading out of the valley, and I look back, and this thing, I just warded off, and I called to every available spirit to help me. And finally, this thing leaves me alone. And what happens is I went through all of that, and I continued the travels. And I traveled for about, six weeks after this point. I wound up at this place close to Papua New Guinea through the Pacific. This family took me in, helped me get my ticket back to come back to the United States. They felt really sorry for me because I couldn't be here for Halloween.
Yeah.
And when I left it was the Philippines I left. I wound up coming back to the United States, and it was the day before. It was actually Halloween. And I got to spend Halloween with my family.
Excellent.
And what happened is, through the whole thing, I found out that, I didn't have a whole lot of faith in my religion or whatever faith was.
Yes.
But I found out that there's spirit out there that takes care of me, and it protects me. And
it throws black nets over you, too. So that's an interesting concept, though, to try and locate. Have you ever had a repetitive dream? A dream that keeps coming back to you and coming back to you and coming back to you until you have the opportunity, which probably feels like deja vu at the time, to actually be at the location of your dream, to actually find the location of your dream, even if it would be as remote as New Guinea, for example. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, sir. What is your name?
Mike.
Hey, Mike. Welcome.
How you doing? I'm out here in L.A.
Yes, sir.
Well, here's a ghost story for you.
Fire away.
When I was around 14 years old, I was home alone, and we had a pool table in a big pool room in the house. And I was playing late at night. It must have been like at 11:30, something like that. And I finished up the game, and we had a wall rack that we would put all the balls and the pool cues and the sticks and everything on there that would hold it on the wall. So I did that, and I was really meticulous because the house was haunted. So I would always make things almost like an obsessive compulsive. I'd put everything in an exact specific place so I knew where it was.
I do that anyway.
Yeah. Because everything was always changing. So I put everything back, went to my room, and was getting ready to go to sleep, and I hear a great big crashing out in the room. So I run out through two other rooms to get to that room, and a pool cue was lying on the pool table. Another pool cue was on the ground. There was the sound of a ball going down the chutes, because the pool table was one of those kind that had chutes in it, so that all the balls ended up at the front of the table.
I have one just like it, yeah.
Yeah. So I heard a ball running down that, and there was the white ball, the cue ball, was banking off one of the felt edges of the table, like somebody had taken a shot and put down the pool cue. So when I go to the front of the table to get the ball out of there, I notice that it's the 8 ball. So that was kind of freaky. So then, after that, I'm freaked out because I'm thinking, oh my God, this is an 8 ball, bad luck. So I'm looking around and I just feel this immense need to get out of the house. And I ran to the front door, but the front door wouldn't open.
All right, hold it right there. You run to the front door, but the front door won't open. That's good. We'll pick it up right there.
This is Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell on the Premier Radio Network.
It sure is. We have a caller hanging, as it were, so let's go right back to him. You're back on the air again, sir.
Okay.
All right, continue.
So, we left off at the front door. I couldn't open the door.
Yes.
And it's a pretty big door, and it's well balanced, and it was really easy to open. You didn't have to do a lot of effort. So the fact that I couldn't open it was alarming me because I had it unlocked and ready to go.
Of course.
And then all of a sudden, it opened. It pushed me back. Like I said, it was a heavy, big door.
All by itself.
All by itself, and that really freaked me out because it was almost like it was trying to fling me into the next room because there was a room right next to the entryway of that house.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, so that kind of was weird. So I pulled myself around the door and kind of threw myself out onto the porch, and the porch was kind of enclosed, so I ended up banging into this wall that was kind of on the other side of the porch. And then I ran down the porch over to a neighbor's house that was right next door and asked them if I could stay there until my parents got home. Mm-hmm. And that door, after I had exited the house, it slammed on itself. I mean, it just like slammed shut with a thud. And I was just kind of shocked, and I ran over there. My parents came back, and what was weird about that is that they didn't think anything was too weird about that when I told them. But years later, I would find out that my dad had experienced some strange things, and my brother had experienced some strange things there.
Well, people tend not to tell each other about this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't. It's not something you talk about, unless I guess you're asked to.
Yeah.
As we do when we do these kind of programs. Okay. Well, thank you very, very much, and take care, and we'll be right back with more Ghost to Ghost. We don't need no stinking phones. We'll do 5 hours anyway. Where there's a will, there's a way. We'll do it anyway. This is Ghost to Ghost, and we'll make it a special 5-hour night. How about that? Huh? We'll continue to tell ghost stories. We want, of course, the very best, the very scariest stories that you can muster up. And with that in mind, you are on the air. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is your first name?
Dwayne.
Dwayne. Okay,
Yeah.
Dwayne, welcome. Where are you?
Well, I used to live in Bend, Oregon. I'm down in Applegate, Oregon now.
All right, but Oregon.
Yeah, I'm an artist, and I used to travel to the big art shows.
Oh.
And when I would take off and leave for 2 or 3 weeks, I had a neighbor that was in his 70s at the time. His name was Tony, and Tony would feed my cats, watch the house, and make sure everything was okay. Well, this went on for years and years, and one night I came back and sat down in my black chair and I was just relaxing, playing with the cats, and the rocking chair next to me started to rock.